Okay, Arjun and Vaibhav asked the question about the Cyprus issue. So, what are your thoughts on Dr. Jaishankar raising the Cyprus issue at the UNGA? And what is the Turkey Cyprus issue? Recently, Dr. S. Jaishankar directly held talks with the Turkish foreign minister and about the Cyprus issue after Erdogan raised the issue of Kashmir in the United Nations General Assembly. All right. So, what is the Cyprus issue? The Cyprus issue is something that goes back a long time. Cyprus is a nation state in the Mediterranean region. Let's go and look at the map. Where's the map? Here's the map. Map. So, let's go to the Mediterranean region. Do you know where it is? We know where India is, I hope. Yes, this is India. Go west. So now we're in the Middle East and go further west, and you have the Eastern Mediterranean region, right? You have Israel, you have Lebanon, you have Syria, you have Anatolia, which is now Turkey, and south of Anatolia, you have this island called Cyprus. So this was historically a Greek island. Yeah, it was inhabited by Greeks for close to 3,000 or so years. Yeah, that's how old Greece is, roughly 3,000 years. So Cyprus has historically been a Greek island. Greek people of Greek ethnicity, of Greek language, Greek culture inhabited this island for a few thousand years, maybe 3,000 years, right? Uh, so this island came under the occupation of the Ottoman Empire during the time of the Ottoman Empire, which is the last 400-500 years, beginning around the 15th, 16th century, there somewhere around there. Yeah. So I may have got the dates slightly wrong. Please don't quote me on that. You get the rough idea, right? So Cyprus was under Ottoman occupation. Later, the Ottoman Empire in the 19th century started becoming really, really weak, and eventually Cyprus was made independent. It became a separate nation. Typically one thinks of Cyprus as being a Greek nation, but it's an independent nation. It's the Republic of Cyprus. Then when was this? Was it in the 1970s or somewhere? Most likely in the 1970s, the Turks invaded Cyprus. Now, in Cyprus, because of the Ottoman occupation, you have two distinct ethno-religious groups. One is the traditional ancestral Greek people who speak the Greek language, who practice Greek Orthodox Christianity, and and they are Greeks. And in the north part of the island, you have about one third of the population of the entire island that are converts to Islam because of the Ottoman occupation of the place. They identify themselves as Turks, and they speak the Turkish language and practice the religion that is prevalent in Turkey, right, which is Islam. So you had this ethnic issue in that's left over in many parts of Europe, actually, because of the Ottoman occupation, right? So in the 1970s, the Turks invaded Cyprus, right? They invaded Cyprus and they annexed roughly the northern one third of Cyprus. So if you look at the map of the island, you can see this weird dashed line, which has actually two dashed lines, and there is a no man's land in between. And you can see the capital of Cyprus, Nicosia, which is bifurcated roughly bifurcated by this thing. So half of Nicosia is Turkish, half of it is Greek. That's a weird thing. And so that's what happened. The Turks took over at least one third of the island. The Turks occupy this island through military force, and that's what is happening right now. That's what happened in the 1970s, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the exact year. Maybe whatever. I'm not going to give you a year. You can look it up if you are interested. And then various issues started. The Turkish identifying uh, people of Cyprus, they started, the age-old practice of kidnapping Greek women and forcibly marrying them off after converting them. The same old thing that was practiced during the Ottoman Empire. There have been, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of cases of this happening over the past few decades. And so the aggressors are the Turks, and the victims are the Greeks, the Greek Cypriots. That is the Cyprus issue. And I think the entire world recognizes this as a Turkish aggression and a forcible Turkish military occupation of a nation that is not Turkish, right? I think most of the world agrees about this. So this is something that Turks have done. This is in contravention of all international law and so on and so forth, but they are holding on to this place because Turkey is part of NATO, and the Americans are willing to look the other way in exchange for Turkish cooperation in other issues. Right? So that is the Cyprus issue. Now, these Turks, especially Mr. Erdogan, who fancies himself as the next Ottoman Sultan, Mr. Erdogan, is taking Turkey in a direction that is which is diametrically opposite to the vision of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, who is Ataturk, the father of the Turks. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk single-handedly forged this nation of Turkey out of the ruins of World War One. In World War One, the Turks sided with Germany, and they were defeated, and the nation was broken into pieces. It was partitioned into, I don't know, multiple pieces by the victorious European allies, and Mustafa Kemal Ataturk refused to accept this. He waged a war against multiple opponents, including the Ottoman Sultan, and he defeated them all, and he carved out an independent nation of Turkey. Yeah, and he envisioned a progressive, modern, secular nation. That's what he sought Turkey to be. Yeah, so he implemented a whole lot of reforms in Turkey, including the abolition of various ancient customs like the veil and various Arabic influenced dresses. He abolished the use of the Arabic script for the Turkish language. He introduced a certain version of the Latin script, and he sought to make Turkey a prosperous, modern, progressive, secular nation. Secular in the true sense of being, right? So that's what he sought. Now, and Turkey did very well after that. Obviously, Turkey was under military rule for a very long time, thanks to some encouragement from the Americans. I'm sure we can look into that at a certain other point in time. But ever since Mr. Erdogan took power, he has started taking Turkey in the direction opposite to what the great Mustafa Kemal Ataturk had envisioned. And Turkey, so there is this internal conflict happening in Turkey right now, and as a result of the direction Mr. Erdogan is taking Turkey in, he has been consistently supporting Pakistan. They try to portray Pakistan and Turkey as blood brothers, or whatever we want to call it, because of the common religious bond that they have. The majority population of Turkey as well as Pakistan is Sunni Muslim, right? That's what they practice, Sunni Islam. So the Turks, on a geopolitical level, try to portray Pakistan as their blood brother, and the Pakistanis they love it. The problem with Pakistan is that they seek a foreign daddy. And the Arabs have distanced themselves from the Pakistanis, saying that you Pakistanis are not Arabs. We do not recognize you as Arabs. So the Pakistanis were in search of a new daddy because they need a foreign daddy. They cannot identify as Indians because that would be terrible. So now they are trying to identify as Turks. Yeah. And the Turks have kind of encouraged that, and the various Turkish serials which distort history are very popular in Pakistan. Yeah. So that's what's happening. So because of their support for Pakistan, the Turks have been at on multiple occasions raising the Kashmir issue and supporting Pakistan over it. So recently, this individual Erdogan, who looks like Gollum but styles himself as the new emperor or new Ottoman Caliph, Sultan of Turkey, he recently apparently raised the Kashmir issue at the UNGA, United Nations General Assembly, right? And that is the background to what this question is about. So, in response to that, Dr. S. Jaishankar, who is our chief diplomat, who is our foreign minister, he recently held talks with the foreign minister of Turkey. And at the end of the talks, he announced to the media that he raised the Cyprus issue with his Turkish counterpart. So the deal is very simple. You're gonna raise up the Kashmir issue, we're gonna raise up the Cyprus issue. Turkey has no business being in Cyprus. It is nothing to do with them. It is not part of Turkey. It has never been part of Turkey. It was forcibly occupied by the Ottoman Empire for some time, but the people are Greeks, and Turkey simply has no business being there, right? Kashmir, on the other hand, has been part of India for thousands of years. It's an integral part of India's civilization for 10,000 plus years. And you find lots of cultural artifacts in Turkey that prove, in Kashmir, that prove this. There is no Turkic or Turkish artifact in Cyprus other than what they've constructed in the past 200-300 years during the Ottoman occupation. So that's why Cyprus is occupied territory, and illegally occupied territory. And if the Turks are gonna try raising the Kashmir issue, we're gonna dredge out the Cyprus issue, and we're gonna speak about it at all appropriate fora, and we're gonna bring the world's attention back on this, and that's going to cost them diplomatically. the Turks. So that is the stance India is taking. This is aggressive diplomacy. This is not the Chinese wolf warrior diplomacy where you become all rude and aggressive and use harsh language and harsh body language. This is actually effective diplomacy. You're gonna raise Kashmir, we're gonna raise Cyprus, and you are the real aggressors in Cyprus. We are not aggressors in Kashmir. So that's the deal. So that's a very simple message that is being sent to Turkey. We are not no longer going to sit back and let you do whatever you want. We're going to retaliate, and it's going to cost you. So that's what's happening, and I'm very happy, very glad to see the stance India is now taking. Excellent.